Hey guys, it's Erin, and today we are going to have some fun unboxing and going over and reviewing 2 different perfume sample kits. I'm going to open the packages, show you all of the fun sights and sounds and touches, and then tell you a little bit about what's inside and what I think about them. Right off the bat, this is not sponsored in any way. If you have watched one of my more recent videos, there was a gift bag that I had gotten that had perfume in it, a full-size perfume. And I was very excited about it because I really wanted some perfume, and it turned out that I hated the scent. Like, it was really bad. Something that I would never, ever wear. So, because it's 2019 and our phones are creepy, I started to get a lot of pop-up ads on Instagram and Facebook about some different perfume like subscriptions and sample kits and things like that. So I looked over a couple of the ads that I was getting, the promos, and I decided to try 2 of them. And I thought that it would also make a really nice video to go along with me getting these. So I did buy them myself. I did not get them sent to me or anything. I am not opposed to people sending me things, but I don't think that, I don't think we're there yet. Anyway, it really is irrelevant to me. I just do this because it's fun and I love it. So, okay, so the 2 companies that we are going to unbox and look at are called Skylar, that's Skylar, and Phlur, which is Phlur. So I'm going to do the Skylar box first. That's this one. I apologize for any noise, by the way. I am in my condo and it's hot, and all the people around me all have their air conditioning going on, so it is what it is. Okay, so this is a very heavily redacted box because it had a lot of information on it. But anyway, so none of these unboxings are going to be for the first time because I have been using them so that I could review them a bit. So this one is the Skylar box. So this is the box that you get in the mail, and then you pull up here, and right away they have their little social media handle, and as a social media manager, I appreciate that. Then there's a little message here: you are sensational. I appreciate a good dad joke, so we're doing good with that. And then the actual box itself. So we're just gonna move this out of the way. Okay. So this here is the Skylar sample palette. You can see that there are 6 little perfumes in there at 1.5 milliliter each. That's the logo and everything. Okay, so let me tell you just a little bit about this process here for Skylar that I had done. So Skylar has this sample palette, which is $20, and it also has $4, I believe, for shipping. But the sample palette itself is $20, and you get 6 scents. There is no curating or creationing or anything like that where you get to pick and choose. You just get 6, because I believe that as of right now, that's all of the ones that they have. So this is their whole lineup, like their whole whatever's available. If you choose the sample palette, you earn a $20 credit towards a full-size perfume. So that's pretty cool, because that means that if you do decide to buy a full-size one, then you basically just transfer your initial sample purchase onto a full-size one, and you get to try all of their perfumes out, which I think is pretty cool. So like I said, it's not sponsored or anything, but they always do give people, like whenever you buy, anybody buys these types of things, you get referral codes, which they did give me, so I will put it in the description if you want to get 25% off the sampler pack. So that's a pretty good deal for $20. You get 25% off of that and get to try all their perfumes. So we lift this up, and it says, "Good scents come naturally." And the first thing that you see is a little card on the top. And what it says is, "Clean, conscious, and customizable. Skylar scents are formulated by our master perfumer to be mixed and matched. Try each scent on its own or layer multiple scents to create a custom combination that is all you. The possibilities are endless." And then it explains how to layer the perfumes. To spritz, hold the vial and press the top nozzle quickly and firmly. Spray one scent on your wrist, then another scent on top, and tap your wrists together. Press your wrists to your neck just below the ears and enjoy your new scent mix. And then it gives you some scent layering inspiration. So again, there's these 6 scents. That's what they're basing it off of. So there's Arrow and Meadow, when you're ready to take on the world. There's Isle and Coral, when you're happy and you know it. And there's Capri and Willow, when you're feeling like a green goddess. And it does say that on the bottom, it says that Isle is their best seller and is more versatile. So you can pair it with anything. And then I guess they have an email if you have any questions for them. So that is cool. I mean, it's a lot more in depth than I think that I thought I was going to get from the sample box. Alright, so put that off to the side. So this itself is the sample box. I think it's really pretty, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all 6 of them in one box. And you can see here that it's clean, hypoallergenic, and cruelty-free, which is very, very important for a lot of people. You can see that there is a name for each of the perfumes. We have Arrow, which is this like purple kind of color here. We have Capri, which is yellow. We have Coral, which is coral, which is like an orange. We have Isle, which is like a light teal sort of, I don't know, green, but like teal green. Then we have Meadow, which is like more of a pink, and Willow, which is like a light wispy green. And it gives you a little, nothing too in depth, but it gives you a little bit of a description to sort of like what you're in for with each of these scents. So the Arrow scent is a little bit spicy, and they recommend it for a date. It says date essential. Capri is a citrus-based perfume, and they recommend it when you are escaping. So the next time like your kids are like annoying you, or you have too much work and you're like, screw it, I'm moving to wherever the hell, this is what you need for that. Coral is fruit filled and apparently will make you happy. Sign me up for 12. We have Isle, which is like a nice fresh scent, probably similar to like a linen or some of those like laundry detergents. And that's Ocean Oasis, so I guess like a getaway or vacation or something. Meadow is a very floral scent, and that is a fantasy scent, so we are going to leave that up to you. And Willow is very earthy and enchanting. So these descriptions, they don't really say a ton to me because I do feel like they can mean anything to anybody. It's a bit subjective, but all that really matters is if you like how it smells. I mean, obviously, if you feel like wearing a date essential one to church, I don't think anybody's gonna care. I will say that I really genuinely like these bottles. They are these little like glass, probably not glass, but like little bottles. They have company name, website, and name of the perfume on there. I really like these because it's easy to see how much you have left, and I think that's a really, really good kind of quality to have. They're very small, so you can hear how they sound when you hit them together. I like that sound, like just clanking them, like they're small, they're easy to travel with. I did actually travel with them very recently. I went on a weekend trip and put like 3 of them in my bag, and it was so much easier than having like a clunky big perfume. Honestly, even if I do decide to pick a favorite of mine and get the bigger size, like put my original purchase towards the bigger size, I really like having these just to have like in your purse or at your desk or something like that. Like these little sample sizes are great, and I love being able to have all of these to try because I definitely like some better than others. I would say that my 3 favorites are these ones, just because they're right that this would be the best seller because it is just kind of fresh, and I really like fruit and floral. I really like those things in general. They're just very fun and vibrant and feminine and flirty and stuff like that. So that is the Skylar box. We might come back to it, we'll see. But for now, again, there will be a link in the description if you want to get a discount on it. I would recommend doing that other than buying it without one. If you have any questions about it, you can always ask me in the comments if I forgot something. So that is Skylar. Okay, so I have to say that I am actually, it wasn't necessarily planned this way, but I have to say that I am extremely glad about the 2 different companies that I picked to do a review on and to kind of compare, because they're very different and there's pros and cons to both of them. But I think that the good thing is different people out there are looking for something different. That makes sense. What a philosopher I am. But you know what I mean. There's what one person might be looking for, somebody else isn't. So I'm going to show you the other company now, and you'll see what I mean, that they're similar in that they are perfume sample packs, but they go about things very differently and a little bit more kind of a complex experience. So let me show you. So this is the box that you get with the company Phlur. That is Phlur. My guess is that it's supposed to be like flower, like fleur de lis, or something like that. I do not love the PHL together. For some reason, I am averse to that, but that's just me. So, I will tell you a little bit about the company. This is the box that you get. It has the company name on it, and it says "We finally meet," and it is a lot more of a rectangular box than the or like a shorter. It's just a little bit different. That's just how they do it. So Phlur is a little bit different in that with Phlur, the sample pack is $18 and free shipping. There's no shipping charge, so it's $18, and you get 3 scents of your choice. So you are picking which ones you want as opposed to just getting all of them in one pack. And they have quite a bit of them. So I actually got 2 sample packs because I wanted to try more than just a couple. And again, the cost can be applied to a full-size bottle. So you spend $18 on the sample pack, and then if you choose to pick your favorite scent and get it in the larger size, the $18 goes towards that. And they also give 25% off with a link. So I will post their link as well in the description, and that way at the end of this you can decide which one, if any of them, that you would like to try out. So they say on the website that this is about a month's worth of perfume, so for each sample pack, which has 3 in them. So I will show you what it looks like. So again, it says "We finally meet," and it has the website phlur.com on this, and I really like this flap. I like the texture of it. And it says "The pleasure is ours," which is very, I guess, sweet. Then you lift this up and you pull out from here. So this is where I noticed one of the biggest differences between the other company, because it actually says prepared just for Erin, and I really genuinely liked the personalization that was there for that. And I think it's because of the fact that you really I don't know if they have like 12 or 15 different scents. You pick the 3 that you want, so each box is truly customizable, so they know that this one is one that I chose myself. And I do tend to like autonomy like that. Okay, so you pull this flap up, and that's what you get. It does actually say in the other instructions that all of this is recyclable, so that's good to know. And then this is what you're left with after all the packaging, with a silver seal. So you open that. I think one of the, regardless of what anybody thinks about the scents, and I do have opinions on that, but regardless of what anybody thinks about the scents, this Phlur, like the concept and the visuals and the art, it's very beautiful. I really love this background here. I tend to really like geometric patterns and stuff like that, so I think that's beautiful. And then what I'll do is I'm going to show you how this works. So in each Phlur sample pack, you pick 3 scents, as we talked about before. So within here is 3 cards, and each of them corresponds to a scent. So in here we have our first 3 scents, which is Greylock, Olmsted and Vox, and Hanami. So you can see that these bottles are a little different than the Skylar ones in that they're sort of like a grayish, creamy-ish outside. You can't tell really how much is left in there, which could be a little bit of a pet peeve for people. But it is very modern and sort of understated, which is nice too. They also have these, it's almost like the compartment for a battery for something, where they have these little strings, so you don't have to try to fish out the scent. You can just pull up and it comes right out, which is very thoughtful. And there's a little card here, and it says, before you indulge, scent takes time to unfold. Try one on, let it breathe, give it time to evolve. And remember, all that matters is what you like. And I do actually think that's a good thing to remember, because I think a lot of times people will say like, well, I only like floral scents, or somebody else says they don't like something, or they feel like maybe they don't want to be too adventurous or something, or they typically have something that they always like, and in this case they don't. And these scents are very new and very modern, very different, and very, very deep. And so if you like it, who cares if you didn't like it before? just go with it and have fun. I think that's what they're saying. Okay, so let's focus on this, because this is really what makes, I think, this particular company very unique, and that is the scent cards. So again, in here are the scents Greylock, Olmsted and Vox, and Hanami. And you can see that each of these cards is extremely different, and what they do is they actually visually represent what is in them, and like some of the different ingredients and some of the different notes and what to expect from each of them. So this gets extremely deep compared to the Skylar box. I'll show you what I mean. So we have the front card, which you can sit here for a while and sort of notice different things like wood and a maple leaf, a key, and some like moss and grass. There's a snail, different things that just sort of pop out. And then when you turn it over, it says Greylock, a thoughtful re-examination of heritage and refinement. This thing here is the same on all the cards, so I'm only going to mention it once. And it says that the fragrance is meant to evolve throughout the day, drifting between notes and accords. Here's how you'll experience Greylock. So literally, for each one of the scents that you order in all the sample packs, not only is it going to tell you everything about like the nuances of what's in it and how it was created and the different notes and stuff, it literally tells you what it will be like throughout the day as you wear it. So because this is an ASMR video, I'm actually going to go through these cards. So if you couldn't care less about like the whispering part, you can just forward to the end when I do like a little review, but we're going to have some fun. Okay, so after 5 minutes of wear with Greylock, a low hum of piney resin complements the feeling of a brisk walk in the woods after a rain. After an hour, as the pine lifts, you're left with the calmness of a coastline in the northeast. And after 8 hours, more relaxed than reserved, Greylock finishes deep and complex, J. Gatsby at his finest. So, again, something I'm only going to read once, but a note on notes. Like a musical composition, fragrances are made up of notes, or simply put, raw materials. And while combining several notes in music produces a chord, combining notes in fragrance creates an accord. If you have more questions about this or other fragrancy jargon, let us know. And there's an email address. So, as you can see, you can kind of tell the different, like visually speaking, what is in this, and then get an idea of the fact that it's sort of like heritage and refinement with pine and all that kind of stuff like that, and then how it will evolve throughout the day. The next one is Olmsted and Vox, and we can see very kind of like stately, very like columns behind and branches and almost, I don't know, like European or something. Fun. There's a not funny, but a fun story with this. So if you don't already know, Olmsted and Vox are the last names of the architects of Central Park in New York. And previous to creating Central Park, they actually did a experiment or like a concept park in Albany, New York, which is called Washington Park. And about 3 weeks ago, I was up in the Albany area on a trip, and I knew that I was going to be going to Washington Park, and I had this perfume at the time. So on purpose, I wore Olmsted and Vox to a park made by Olmsted and Vox. And that's how you know I'm a dork. Okay, so what we have is the embodiment of quiet confidence and composure. So after 5 minutes of wear, a spray on each wrist and one on your collarbone will emit a bright, clean confidence. An hour, Olmsted and Vox dries down with energizing citrus, shisho, and a trace of ginger. And 6 hours of wear. The scent maintains its character, but only for those lucky enough to get close. And the last one in this sample pack is Hanami. A very sort of like mod scene here with like concrete and I don't know, like almost like Art Deco. Complex and complete, a reflection of serenity and self. So after 5 minutes, with its lush creaminess, the scent will begin to radiate poise more than any specific note. 2 hours, Hanami's linear structure and consistent timbre will align with your skin to produce scents unique to you. And 4 hours later, a luxuriousness will melt into a bath of botanical composure and tranquility. So this was the first sample pack that I got, and because I thought it was a good deal because I had gotten a discount code from somebody else, so I was like, I'm gonna get more of them because these people, they seem deep like me. So again, this one is Hanami, our good friends Olmsted and Vox, and Greylock. So that's number 1. And then this is number 2. The seal is obviously not quite as pretty anymore. Okay. This one's the same pretty geometric background. And in this one, we have Sandara, or Sandara, whichever one you say Sandara. We have Ameline, and we have Hepcat. And the box and the messages are all the same. And then we have our cards. So the first one is Sandara. And this is such a beautiful, vibrant photo. I love it. I love the greens and the reds and the ivy and the fern bushes and so much about it. I'm very drawn to it. Calming and meditative, a spiritual journey inspired by a retreat into nature. 5 minutes of wear. This scent of clean, fresh air conjures a mindful walk in the woods. 1 hour. Hints of green tea and Nepalese timur pepper join a violet accord to produce an earthly calm. And 8 hours later, a lingering feeling of peace built on a strong, woodsy finish. The second one, equally beautiful, is Ameline. Based on their ads that they had on Instagram, I think that this is the one they push the hardest. It must be the favorite. But because I think I noticed this one first and I saw it a lot. So clearly this one is very like feminine, pink, roses, flowers. That seems to be the theme here. And again, very visually beautiful. A thoroughly modern statement of feminine intelligence, grace, and glamour. 5 minutes of wear. Now this is different. A rose, yet unlike any rose you've ever smelled before. This is fresher, more seductive, sparkling even. 1 hour. The full bouquet, led by a touch of violet, begins to emerge. 8 hours of wear, it ends with a radiant amber and floral finish with hints of wood, a little savoir-faire as day turns to night. And the last one in this sample pack, and which is the last one that I have to go over, is Hepcat. So this one, it definitely seems like more of a working table, like wood and almost like an anvil or a metal like tools, like not as sort of beautiful and woodsy and florally. It's very different from that. So Hepcat, with an intriguing bite layered with dimensions that captivate. After 5 minutes of wear, after 2 sprays on each wrist, note the woody oud and vetiver punctuated by a dash of saffron. 2 hours. Once it dries down, Hepcat will emanate the deep earthiness of aged leather. 8 hours of wear. The fragrance will continue to impress with caramel smoothness and a cozy familiarity of an old record. So funny, this one actually is one of my 2 favorites from Phlur, and I don't know if I was, if it's just that I love the scent or if it got me because I love the word and the smell of vetiver, because as I've mentioned before, I'm a huge REM fan, and the word vetiver is in one of their songs. And also it's called Hepcat, and I am a cat lady, so there's that. And then when it starts bringing in music and old records, I'm like, you guys, you definitely know me. So that's the last one for that. And then again, the photo. So, I'm going to, what am I going to do? I think what I'm going to do is take I'm going to try, because of the way that like the work surface is here, I'm going to try to bring them all back. See what I can do space-wise. Okay. So, I figured that I would just do a little bit of a review, a little bit of a recap. So, again, if I forget anything or if you have any more specific questions or anything, you can always feel free to comment or email me, and I will just kind of do a brief thought on them. First of all, on the concept as a whole, the idea as a whole, I really enjoy. It's tough, I think, for a lot of people to buy a $50 to $100 bottle of perfume and not know if you're going to like it or not. And there does come a point where You cannot pretend to like it, no matter how much you wish you could. So it's really a great thing to be able to pay $20 or less to have the ability to try out a variety of perfumes so you can see what you like and what you don't. And if you hate a couple of them, it's not that big of a deal. And if you end up loving a bunch of them, then how cool is that? So the idea of it, I'm glad that I tried it. I would say that all of them are good for like travel or keeping in your car, keeping in your desk, somewhere where you can kind of just like, if you're like me and sometimes you mean to go right home from work, but then you end up having something else to do. You don't have time to go home and kind of, redo any like makeup or perfume. You could just pop it in your desk. So these two again are Phlur, and this one is Skylar. Again, pros and cons to both of them. So I will say that the pro to the Skylar box is that you get all 6 of their scents in one box. I like that the bottles are clear, see-through, so that as you use them, you can see how much you have left in case you either want to just know where you're at with it, or if you need to reorder it because you can see that you're getting low. Visually, I think that the box is pretty, and I would say the biggest thing about Skylar in terms of a review is that I would call these ones a lot more of a typical classical scent. They're all very bright. They tend to be like citrusy, fruity, fresh, floral, very typical. Nothing that is really too outside the box, nothing that is very super nuanced, which is why I do think that they don't have as much of a description, because it's just basically like, this one's fresh, this one has flowers, this one is citrusy, this one is spicy. You don't really have to go too deep into it or anything like that. So if you're the kind of person very conventional, you've bought a lot of perfume before and you're more of a traditionalist or a conventional person who really just enjoys fresh, bright, simple scents, then I would say that this is the way to go. I definitely think I like all of them, and these are the ones that I took with me on my trip. I took like 2 of these and 2 of these. So that's that. The con, I would say, of the Skylar is I mean, I'm being nitpicky here, but this one has free shipping and this one doesn't, so that can be a little put-offish for people, but you are getting more scents in one, so it's kind of like a 6.5 dozen the other kind of thing. So there's that, and you cannot pick and choose anything. They just give you all of them. That's really their selection. That's that. There's not a lot of curating, if that's your thing, that you really like. So I would say that would be my review on them. Over here, when it comes to Phlur, so it's such a different experience. It's such a different product. I am a visual person, so I really appreciate these cards. I think they're extremely in-depth. I think they're extremely descriptive and also visually appealing and give you kind of an idea of what it's a very like immersive experience that they have going on, as opposed to just being like, yeah, this one's fresh. They're like, not only are we going to tell you all about what's in it, but we're going to tell you how it evolves throughout the day. So as a pro, I like that I could pick and choose, because on the website they give you a lot of on each scent they give you a lot of descriptions of what's in it, like what the actual notes and the materials are, and what types of person maybe would gravitate towards those ones. So they give you a good education on, like, these ones I picked because of the fact that I read up on a lot of them and I picked them on purpose. I liked being able to make my own box, and I liked the personal touch of them writing my name on it. I thought that was some really good personal attention and customer service. I liked reading the cards. I will say that it really is a personal preference thing, because there are many people out there that I think will consider this to be extremely convoluted and extremely avant-garde, a little extra. Like, just give me my damn perfume. I don't need to know, like, that it was, in some kind of, like, Ernest Hemingway poem or something. Like, there's a lot of sort of theatricalness about this, and a lot of maybe more, what's the word, like esoteric things, like terms about like happiness and wistfulness and peace and poetry and stuff. And it's like, if that's your thing, and I do kind of like it, like I am kind of a more poetic, creative, visual kind of person, then maybe that's your thing, like it was my thing. I tend to like both of them, but I think that there's certain people who are just really looking for like the traditional, fresh, easy experience, and there's people that are looking for the really nuanced, deep, get a deep dive, Tolstoy experience over here. So I just want you to know what you're getting into one way or the other. The Phlur scents in general, which shouldn't surprise anybody considering the experience, they're different. And I don't mean bad, I just mean different. My two favorite over here is Hepcat and Hanami. Those are ones I liked right away. I did enjoy wearing the Olmsted and Vox to their park, and I didn't hate that one or anything. I would just say, I had my three favorites over here, and in these sample packs I had those two favorites. It seems like a lot of people like the Ameline one, and I thought it was okay, it just wasn't my favorite. So I think that they're both presented well. They both have scents that I liked. They both have the ability to take your initial purchase and roll them on to getting one of the bigger sizes. And it was a really fun experience to have. I'm glad that I did it, and I'm hoping that you got to enjoy my experience with them and unboxing them and stuff like that. I have pros and cons again to say about both of them. So I wouldn't say one is terrible and one is better. They're just very different, and just like we are very different. And so I think that seeing this visually and seeing the explanation will hopefully help people that are even interested in this type of thing at all. I hope that it will help people to know which one that they gravitate towards based on their personality. So I thank you for watching this and going on this little unboxing review journey with me. If you enjoyed this type of video, let me know, because maybe I could find some other products to review or sample. If there's any other sample palettes or sample sets or anything that you've seen ads for, let me know. And I hope this helped some people decide one way or the other if they were curious about them. Again, one more time. I will put the 25% off. Each of them gives a link for 25% off the sample pack. So I think that it makes this one 15 and this one like 13 or 12 or something like that, which is pretty cool. Something I found it was a no-brainer for me. I was like, I don't even care if they're not going to send me anything. I'm going to buy it myself. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon.